Hi, Charlene. Have you ever really had a good idea or you thought you had a great idea and you were really motivated about it? The more you thought about it, the more you wanted to actually plan and create the thing that you are having these ideas about. And in the process, something starts sneaking in that really makes you question and maybe hesitate around actually pursuing the thing that you were so excited about. I've definitely had that happen in my life many, many times. Times when I was thinking about leaving a job that I didn't like or it just wasn't working out for me. I will talk about that in a future video and share a little bit more about my two experiences with that. Also, if you've ever just wanted to make a change in your life and you did the numbers, you did all of the research that would require you to be able to make that change, but something just holds you back and you don't execute. In prior videos, I've talked to you about how I had some ideas about some things that I wanted to do, particularly be more involved with life coaching, be involved with travel, and combining the two. But it took me a long time to really get myself going in terms of my website, in terms of all the things that needed to happen, and definitely social media presence, just so people can get to meet me, I could get to meet other people. So networking is a big part of that. One of the big things, and there's two things I'll talk about today, is self-doubt and also overthinking. On the surface, those almost seem the same, but the self-doubt is really about us, how we're viewing ourselves and what we're thinking about how we're doing and why should we be doing something like the idea we have? Why should we execute something like that? How could we possibly think that we could do that? I've seen other people do it, but they must have something different for me that won't allow it for me to happen as well, or for me to pursue that path as well. That is one of the things that really, I think, slows down a lot of people. It's certainly slowed me down in different aspects of my life. I think the self-awareness, there comes a point where you really get to understand yourself in a way that you begin to identify that self-doubt. And I've reached that point in my life where I actually am beginning to see those places and those times and those spaces when I'm doubting myself. And how I overcome that is pushing myself. I talked about fear a few videos ago. Fear plays into that, of course. The self-doubt is really, I think, overcome in different ways by different people. I can only share the ways that I do it. It's really questioning, where is this coming from? Where is this thought that I can't do this project or this business that I want and have thought about, done the research, done the work? Why am I holding myself back by doubting myself? Why don't I just try and see what happens? Part of the joy, I think, of living is being able to have different experiences, things that one, maybe you planned for or really wanted and it has progressed in that way, or sometimes even the things that you ideate and think about and create, and you don't really have a blueprint for it. You do the things that help you get to that idea. You've done those things and you execute on them the best that you can. Now, I'm not saying it's A, then B, then C. It doesn't all line up that way, but the self-doubt can make the distance between A, B, and C very far apart. So I was talking about how I look at that in myself, the self-doubt. It's really a process of questioning, as I was saying before, where does this come from? And in doing so, you're able to dig a little deeper as to why. Is it a voice? Is it when you were in the third grade and something happened and you're thinking about it and maybe it put a spark of something that I just can't do that, or I'm not good enough. So that's really surface level discussion on this topic, but I think that we all need to, or should, if we choose to, look at why we doubt ourselves and where that stems from. But sometimes we never figure out where it stems from. But I think the self-realization and the desire to really overcome that in order for you to reach your goals is really key and really important. The second thing I want to talk about, which I am very guilty of doing, and it's overthinking. And I love research. I love looking into things. I think that part of the process of figuring out things and creating new things, I like the research part a lot. But sometimes I find for myself, I can bog myself down by thinking outcomes and other scenarios and what happens next. And if this, then that. I think you get where I'm getting at. It gets really tangled up. And in part, my getting onto social media and my wanting to just connect with people and express myself is shortcutting my overthinking. And one simple example of that is the videos that I've posted have not come from thinking and planning. Yes, I've had some thoughts about what I wanted to talk to you about on certain days, but I didn't overthink it as I would normally. Research it, the definition of overthinking, the definition of self-doubt. I challenge myself to come on and talk to you about things that may be important. They're definitely important to me and identifying them, but may be important to other people. So with that, I'm going to end it here, but just wanted to encourage everyone listening and may have an interest in doing something different. Be aware of the overthinking and be aware of the self-doubt where it might be creeping in, and face it, do something in terms of identifying what it is and working through how to move past that. It's great always talking to you. I hope to catch up with you on the next video. Take care.